By the right of the council, by the will of the Force. Welcome back into our first official Jedi Talk, an elegant recap show for a more civilized age. Yes, it is our first wrap-up show. Obi-Wan Kenobi dropped today, and we could not be more excited. We watched this as soon as we possibly can. Evan even bled his eyes via Star Wars, and he can tell that story again for a second before he watched it. So we're also got the Batman on in the background because this show may be dropping probably very, very soon after we let the spoilery stuff flesh out. Maybe we'll release this early next week. We're still the same night we recorded last week, but I'm on rambling. I want to get talking about Kenobi. So I am Tom Orky. Thank you for joining Jedi Talk. We are Brad Hughesless tonight. He's still at Celebration covering that, so check all that out on the social medias. Brad Ventures for all things, and Jedi Talk Podcast. He's jumping back and forth for where he posts things. So please, Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram, Brad Ventures on Instagram and YouTube. But joining us, as always, is the Mantha from another Bantha, Bantha from another Mantha. And we're going to talk about that particular actor in the Kenobi wrap-up show. But Evan T. Boucher. Evan, how the hell are you?
Hello there, for probably the most fitting of my intros of all time.
Yes.
And it will be for the next 4 wrap-up shows, and then it'll go back to being irrelevant. Hopefully not. Obi-Wan's never truly irrelevant, I feel like.
You feel like
but
Obi-Wan's never truly relevant?
No, irrelevant.
Oh, hell no.
He's never truly gone.
No, he's
watching this Batman here just reminded me of seeing Christian Bale and Thor, and how I immediately was like, I want him as Marchion Ro. Marchion Ro. I gotta get used to saying it that way. Marchion Ro. And I want to actually like face to face see what you think. Could he do Marchion? You think?
Excuse me there.
Because you said he looks like Voldemort in Thor, and I was like, yeah, okay. As soon as you said that, I was like, yep.
He looked a little like Voldemort. He also looked like Kratos from God of War.
Yeah, okay. Yep.
But it's going to happen in media.
Right.
Yeah. I think he can play Marchion Ro. I'm very curious to see him play a comic book villain. I am.
Yeah.
And it's not a bad thing because he's been successful with a hero, obviously, but I'm kind of surprised Christian Bale did that.
Well, you either die a hero or you live long enough to see yourself become the villain.
Exactly.
So
exactly.
He has seen himself become a villain.
Yeah, so that Thor trailer was better. I'm still not
much better.
I'm still not overly excited about the show. Yeah.
Man, that's the only thing I'm excited for Marvel. But I think it could be a sick Marchion. Hopefully we get it, as we talked about last show, that little High Republic animated series possibly coming out.
Ooh,
could be our intro to like live action, possibly
Correct.
One day High Republic stuff. The Acolytes, technically High Republic.
That's right.
So maybe we'll get a Marchion Ro one day.
We most definitely will. But anyway, we're here to talk about Kenobi. So I said on the last show, I woke up, hit the gym, came back, cleared some email, and then kind of just plopped it on the couch and just binged the first 2 episodes of Kenobi.
Yep.
And then rewatched it again later with Courtney.
I haven't had a chance to at all. I'm going to probably tonight, honestly, when I get home.
There you go. So how did you, because you have a very funny story about what you did. Remind the people.
This option that ended up playing out was probably better for my sleep cycle and like my mental health and everything. But like at the time, I was like, all right, I'm going to wake up 5 a.m. on Friday morning before I roll into work and just binge these 2 shows back to back because they're probably like an hour apiece. So like 5 to 7, watch the shows, get ready for work, yada yada. And then I was like, all right, so that means Thursday night I'll have time to watch a little bit of Clone Wars, watch Revenge of the Sith, be able to like go to sleep on that, let that kind of ruminate, and then play right into Kenobi. Mm-hmm. So I'm like, I timed it pretty well too. I'm like, all right, this will be done around like 11:30 midnight. I'll have time to go to bed, get an okay amount of sleep, I guess.
Yeah.
So about like 11:30 though, they dropped. You don't have to wait till Friday morning. Technically, you do Friday morning, but like 5 a.m. You can watch it at midnight.
I saw that. Like it's coming very soon.
They said midnight, but I even was looking, and it was like 11:38 or something that it was on Disney Plus. So I was like, okay, new plan. I'm gonna watch 6 hours, 7 hours of Star Wars in a row here. Which normally isn't a bad thing, but like it was just a lot on my mind at 2 a.m. by the time it was all done.
Yeah.
But especially with how Kenobi started. Do you want to just jump into it? Because like,
let's do it. So,
every time we go to this but go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say Brad's sending us stuff, and he's I think he's. Brad. Breaking news. He got us Star Cruiser luggage tags.
Whoa, no way. Dude, yes.
Yeah, that's awesome.
I'll be using those next voyage. Those are beautiful.
I say amazing. Yeah, next voyage, whenever that happens. So, shout out to our Halcyon listeners again, Sandro, Beth, and tell all the other characters about the Halcyon, particularly Lieutenant Croy of the First Order.
Not the worst order, the best order.
Evan, don't you know? Haven't you heard? Are you aware that not only is
the bird is the word? There we go.
I said not only that the bird is the word, but were you aware this very, very telling thing about the First Order?
First Order is the worst order.
Evan couldn't hear that, but that is the First Order is the worst order.
It
Evan.
is not.
But it kind of is. Yeah. Sandro said it. It's canon now. Everything that
Sandro
happens on the
said it.
Halcyon is canon.
True. Including goldfish and earth guitars.
Yeah, that's true.
I poke fun, but the Halcyon is still my favorite thing of all time. Anywhere, I would die for it. Like, I love the
You
Halcyon.
would die for that
I would die for the
for a
Halcyon.
hotel.
Yes. I feel like they need to do a campaign where, how they did for Animal Kingdom when it was like not a zoo. Do you remember that campaign?
I don't actually.
It was like the first couple years it came out, and it wasn't spelled not N-O-T-A zoo. It was spelled like Swahili. It was like Natazu is how I don't know.
Oh, that's cool.
I don't know how to spell it. But
That's cool.
We need that with the Halcyon. Be like, not a hotel, because it's not.
Yeah.
And even like the marketing they did during the celebration live streams, I don't know if you saw them,
Put it a little bit closer. Here, there.
but that marketing was a lot better, but they were misleading. They were like lying in it. They showed like 12 stormtroopers walking around. They showed
that's right.
Kylo walking around on the main deck where
Yeah.
in the atrium. And I'm like, this thing is the best thing ever. You don't have to lie. You don't
No.
have to mislead people and like, what's it called when you like mismarket intentionally?
Oh, mismarket intentionally. Oh, just like a campaign promise.
Yeah, like you don't have
Essentially,
to
yeah.
do that. This is the best thing ever made. Just be honest and show people what it is, and they will come. But the fact that they were lying is like, okay, well.
Oh wow, more vintage collection pipeline reveals. Hunter from Bad Batch, which is actually say what you want about the Bad Batch. That'd be a cool figure.
Yeah, he's a really cool design, character design.
Starkiller.
All right. See, I don't understand
I don't.
the figures of things that aren't canon.
I don't
just
get
don't
that.
get it.
And then who the hell is this?
I don't buy it. If it's not canon, I don't care.
I have absolutely. Is that the Mandalorian holding the dark saber? Crimson Dawn Collectibles posted it. Everyone say Starkiller, 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 and they talked about Bad Batch. God, there's so much going on. Let's just fucking talk about Kenobi already. I keep saying that. But anyway, so the first scene of Kenobi. Oh, okay. What I want to say, actually, how Kenobi kicked off, Evan, is that recap was so good. The recap of the
and
prequels.
even though I just watched it, basically, like I said, I was binging that stuff. I was like, okay, yeah, I like this little 8-minute
That
clip
was a
show.
cool, like, it got me all, like, ready. Like,
It was
I
the
like,
highlights of the prequels. It was like, here's the
it
things
was
you need.
all the adrenaline pumping moments of the prequels. It's just basically because it's so well done. Because if you didn't know anything in the prequels, or maybe didn't watch them since you were a kid, it was a perfect wrap up. And they mentioned so many specific things, and the most important thing is, and Brad can't be on, so I'll hype it for him. But the most specific thing that they mentioned and they made sure to share with us on that recap was Master Yoda telling Obi-Wan Kenobi
Yep.
that
I
he
made
has
note of
training
that
for
too.
him because he's been talking to Qui-Gon. So they said
Exactly.
that for a reason.
Yep. So Qui-Gon's coming.
Liam Neeson is definitely cameo.
Liam Neeson pulled Andrew Garfield. Okay. Like,
1,000%.
yeah, we all knew he did.
I never not believed Liam Neeson. Like I never believed Liam Neeson, I should say. I always thought he was going to be in this.
Me too.
They probably rolled a dumb truck of money up to him just to have him cameo.
And 300 llamas or whatever it was that Johnny Depp said.
Oh yeah.
300 alpacas or something.
So we go back to it starts with Coruscant. It's not the timeline of what they're showing us yet, but the Coruscant, we got younglings training with an unnamed Jedi, new, just kind of like a random Jedi there in the temple, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So she's
At first I was like, is this going to be Anakin busting in here? Are we
Oh.
getting that from a new perspective?
as soon as I saw the younglings, I just said, "Uh-oh."
Yeah.
So and then the clone troopers run in and they just start firing on the Jedi and the younglings, and so
Yep.
they basically get through. She beats them all. She saves it, and then finally she succumbs to too many clone troopers shooting her. And then the kids, the
The
younglings.
wide shot is
Yeah.
is what really gets you. If you're not crying yet, this
Oh,
wide shot is
yeah.
what kills you.
Yeah, because there's Jedi's just getting murked down
Left and
below,
right.
left and right.
All as these kids just run for their lives.
Right. So you're thinking, you're like, what could this have to do? But then they panned in on the younglings, and they were focusing on one specific, and we're going to
Yep.
get to that later.
And they ask like, "So what do we do now?"
Yeah.
And one says, "Run."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they
and
run.
they run. They start
And,
running.
yeah, at the time, you're like, "What's this have to do with Kenobi?" Because Obi-Wan is on Utapau for Order 66. He's not involved in this scene at all.
Correct.
And you're like, Anakin's not involved in the scene at all. No Vader. So what's the deal? But
Right.
it's fairly obvious it's going to be connected to Inquisitors.
Yeah.
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 And
We're
that's not a bad thing.
no,
No,
it just it makes
that's how
sense.
it's going. Yeah.
Makes sense. It's going to play
Especially
heavily
if you
into
know Seer and Trilla's story.
exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. The rest of the story. So, so from there we go to Tatooine. I believe, if I remember correctly, we should go straight to Tatooine. 10 years later.
Yeah, it says 10 years later. And
Yeah, it
jump
gives
straight
us the
to
10 years
Tatooine.
later, and
Yeah.
this is when the Inquisitors stopping in that random like cantina.
Yeah.
This is when
Yeah.
they're showing the streets with people and selling things, and then the shadow of the Inquisitor ship goes over, and it's just very dark. Look, the theming of everything and like
Yeah.
the feel of the episode. It's you know when the Inquisitors land that they're bad dudes.
They
that
mean
they're-
business.
They mean business. So
Yeah.
the Grand Inquisitor walks out. He's got the fifth brother
He's
behind him
flanked.
to his left.
Yep.
And then behind him on the other side to his right is Reva, or the third sister, her
Yeah.
live-action debut. So they walk down. They're very intimidating. They're looking for a Jedi, and they walk into the cantina, and they intimidate the bar owner, the bartender.
Right.
Are
Because
they-
you think they're trying to get info out of him.
Exactly.
And I don't know if it's obvious or not, but I was like, I think they're just getting info out of him, and this is their intimidation techniques and tactics. But
Yep.
it wasn't. They had a different plan.
Could be part of it.
Well, not Trilla, yeah. Reva never has a plan. She just is making this up as she goes.
Oh, yeah.
And just lets the anger get the best of her.
And she was sick of the Grand Inquisitor's intimidation
Calculated
tactics.
and
Yeah.
intimidation
It's
tactics.
calculated. You got to be patient to hunt Jedi. The Jedi
Yeah.
hunt themselves.
Yeah.
So she throws a knife at him, probably knowing the Grand Inquisitor was going to stop it,
Right.
just
well,
to scare him.
he didn't stop it.
Oh, the Jedi stopped it.
Yeah,
That's
this
right.
coincidental Tatooine also in hiding Jedi that also
Mhm.
survived Order 66.
I mean,
Yeah.
if you logically think about it, well, was he a? That's right. That's right. He was a Jedi because he could have just been a Force user who kind of figured it out, maybe.
Possibly.
Yeah, but no, he's 1,000% a Jedi. But I mean, when you think about it,
He knows Obi-Wan by name and
He
face.
does.
He finds him later. We'll get there, and he finds
there was
him.
probably like 5% of people who survived.
Right, and two
like-
of them end up on Tatooine. But then
Yeah.
again, everything on Star Wars ends up on
Yeah.
Tatooine. So like, that's a nittest of nitpicks.
Yep.
Nittiest of
Yeah.
nitpicks, whatever.
Nittiest. Be
Nittiest.
careful there. We get canceled.
The nittiest.
You mind if Kyle joins?
Heck yeah.
All right, let's get him on. Because we won't be able to do a fourth Mother Box this weekend, but we'll just get his ass on here. Yeah, you've got to get back on there. I'll wait till Kyle gets on the phone. Skype. All right, we're gonna wait for him, and then we'll kind of get talking to it. So, but this is an important scene, right? Because it reveals that other Jedi sitting at the table in the cantina. But they don't take him down right away. But Reva tried to just swipe right through him, and that's when the Grand
Oh,
Inquisitor
yeah.
stopped her.
That's when you get the shot from the trailer.
Yeah.
Like her sliding in front of him.
Okay, he needs 2 minutes, so probably just has to get up off the couch because he's a lazy shit. So anyway, let's just kind of keep it moving. So then the Inquisitors leave, right? And then they finally give us to Obi-Wan, or
Yeah.
Ben Kenobi. He's working in just a meat.
He's
cutting-
stealing food
for
to give to his
Eope.
what's it called? Eope?
Well, I think Eope's the name because we were watching with subtitles and
Okay.
they kept saying Eope snarls, Eope growls.
I think that's the
EOPIE.
species.
Oh, okay.
I could be wrong. It doesn't matter.
Let's Google it real quick. I want to be sure. I know. Eope, EOPI. Thank you for listeners for bearing with us because I don't know every damn species in Star Wars. Christ.
No, I only know like 10.
Yeah, right. See. Yeah, Eopes are the species. Location Tatooine. So the species. So we don't know the particular name. So That's okay.
It hasn't been said yet, but most people think it's the one from like the books.
Yeah.
Hey.
Hey, there he is.
There's Kyle.
Kyle, we are live on Jedi Talk right now. It's just Evan and I. Brad,
Hey.
Brad's doing celebration shit. I got to turn you down. You sound a lot better than last time, by the way. Excuse me. So we already recorded a first show. We went down some celebration stuff, and now Evan and I just started our breakdown of Kenobi. So I hope you got some thoughts.
All right. Yeah, I just Skype kicked me off for a second there, so I missed that. I heard you guys were wrapping up Kenobi.
Yeah, no, we're just started talking Kenobi. Like
okay.
we're going through the first episode. So let me just recap. We went through the opening recap. Like we went through the first scene with the younglings on Coruscant, which killed all the Jedi on Order 66. We went through the cantina scene where the Inquisitors bully the cantina bartender and then find the other Jedi. And then we just started talking about Kenobi sneaking the meat to give to his EOP. So that's where we're at in the show.
Okay, Skype kicked me off again.
Jesus Christ.
We need a new medium because Skype sucks my ass.
Yeah, this will be the last time we use Skype. Fuck Skype in the butt. So
Okay, where's Brad at?
Brad's at Celebration doing stuff. He's unfortunately we're gonna miss the surprise prank that we were trying to play on him.
Oh,
He's hanging out with George Lucas.
We could make fun of him then.
Yeah, go right ahead.
He's probably at the T-Rex somewhere in California molesting the dinosaurs there.
They do not have a T-Rex, and he's probably at the
No.
Rainforest
Well-
Cafe in downtown Disneyland.
Well,
That's closed, too.
That's why that state doesn't work. They needed
That's their Star
they
Wars
need a
story.
T-Rex.
That's right. They turned it into the trading post, so he can't.
Yep.
He can't molest anything. So anyway,
Let's
Kyle.
keep it that way.
Kyle, what were your overall spoiler-free initial thoughts on Kenobi before we get into the nitty-gritty?
Oh man, wow, what a big weekend with a lot of news drops, and not only that, we got. Did you guys talk about the
Survivor? Fuck yeah,
the-
we did.
Oh God, that was unbelievable.
Yeah.
So I watched both episodes this morning of Kenobi. I was very, very impressed. I'm very happy that I decided to rewatch the original 9 movies. And you know what? Just watching it, I feel like there's just a different level, a different level of professionalism that they've put on this show. I mean, it's definitely not in by any means disparaging like Boba Fett or like The Mandalorian, but there just seems like something that's just like a little bit next level with this. So I was really impressed.
Perfectly said. Very impressed. I go 10 out of 10. And I just want to jump right into things. So great breakdown. That was actually really well crafted breakdown of Kenobi, because that's exactly how I fucking felt too. So we're get Kenobi. He gets on that transport and he's going through Tatooine, the desert, and then he gets to his EOP in the cave. It's like tied up. He gives him the meat.
Well, we also see he has to like endure this suffrage of other people around him every day.
That's right. That's a very
and he
good
has
point.
to just let it go.
That's right, because he
It's
watched
killing him.
Yeah, he watched the guy get taxed to death, and they cut his pay in half, and then he left.
He's like, I got a family, and it's like, who cares?
Kyle, by the way, you'll appreciate this. We've got the Batman on in the background, so this is the first time Evan's actually watching it.
Oh fuck yeah!
Well, it doesn't do it justice because I'm not really watching it.
Right.
But
Still cool.
what I'm getting, I really like.
Oh good, that's great.
Yes. So, really, before we continue on, Kyle, do you want to give Indiana Jones 5 thoughts quickly?
Oh shit, that too. Brad actually texted me from. I was like yesterday. He texted me some pictures from Star Wars Celebration, and they had some new Indiana Jones merch that was dropping soon, and it included a shirt that included Indiana Jones 5. And man, I'm in love with this picture that they dropped yesterday. And I was reading a little bit about it, and they were just kind of like saying that there's something extra special about this one, and I just can't begin to imagine what they're gonna do with it, because a lot of people just keep like criticizing and saying, "Oh, Harrison Ford is too old," But you know what? It's funny because people keep saying he's so old, but the dude rides his bike 30 miles a day, which is more than most people can do in their 30s. So I don't know what the
Yep.
fuck they're talking about. He's too old. But anyway, this image is now the background on my phone and on my Fitbit watch.
Nice.
I'm in love
Nice.
with it. And man, I cannot wait for a trailer. That's going to be it's going to blow me away.
I don't know why
yeah.
they keep calling it Indiana Jones 5. There's only 3 Indiana Jones movies.
Well, that's up for debate. I mean, I know a lot of people were upset with Indiana Jones 4, but I thought it was good fun. I mean, was it what we wanted? Maybe not necessarily, but I think a lot of criticisms of the movie are a bit unfair. People talked about like, oh, well, aliens and it's too sci-fi and there's too many things that aren't realistic enough. But if you look at the other movies, it's always been about stuff that's like kind of sci-fi. I mean, they had the Ark of the Covenant in the first one, and people's eyes were people were being melted when they opened it. And you know what I mean? There's just like there's always been a supernatural element to these movies, and I just think like just because it was aliens, it was a bit an unfair criticism. I think Shia LaBeouf definitely shouldn't have been in that movie, and I'm glad that he is not in Indiana Jones 5. So that is a good
Same.
criticism.
The best parts to me for Indiana Jones are when they are like religious artifacts, and we get that side of like sci-fi religion. That's why 1 and 3 are the best.
This one is actually going to be kind of interesting too, because it's kind of like the time period is centered right around the Cold War, and what better time to really tell a story about us against Russia than right now, right?
Yeah.
So I think that'll be kind of extra cool. But I just wonder if they're going to take like a Logan type of storyline with it.
Probably if they do like a 50-year jump there. Jesus.
Yeah. If he
Already
dies,
four.
we're
I
all
don't know.
gonna cry.
He will.
Oh,
He will.
we're gonna cry.
Yeah, he'll be killed. Probably by Shia LaBeouf, because that's apparently because maybe that's how he kills off his characters. He just has his son in the film kill him for some reason.
Right.
He'll be
The Shy uses the swinging monkeys.
He'll be killed by this brand new female character introduced. She'll steal his hat, and we'll get 5 Indiana Jane movies.
Indiana Jane.
That nobody will see. So, because nobody wants to see that.
All right, so let's get back to Kenobi. So
Did you be real quick though? Before you guys get into Kenobi, did you talk about Cosmic Rewind? Because it did open today.
It did open today. We actually did a little bit, and Cosmic Rewind is doing so well with the boarding groups. It got into the 200s today. I'm just so happy with that. Evan's
Jesus.
over here. I could see the vein coming out of his forehead about talking about this ride, but
Yeah, it's a roller coaster should do well with a boarding group. It
that's
should
very
never
true.
break down.
I agree. It's a little bit more complicated than that.
It's not as complicated as Hagrid's though. Like
No, it's no, yeah, you're right. It's not.
Yeah.
Right, it's not. What's that? Oh, I
I
saw
can.
that.
I want to go to Epcot to see I Can.
We're gonna go tomorrow. That's cool.
Ugh.
I can.
They said limited time too.
Oh, everything's
So-
limited time.
What is that?
Evan, you want to explain that?
So I Can is an entertainment cast member who is like supposed to be a robot on like a Segway type deal.
Okay.
He was in Tomorrowland back in like 2016, 2017. And then he just randomly disappeared one day. And he randomly came back, but he's at Epcot today.
Wow.
So he's like a entertainment cast member that
Interesting.
acts like a robot who's interacting with guests.
Probably catch him tomorrow. They probably put him out there because Epcot is going to be busy all weekend.
Yeah. I'm hoping I can get to see him then, but it's probably only going to be like a week tops.
Yeah,
And I'll be sad.
So yeah, Cosmic Rewind will drop today. Bunch of merch, some cool merch like the pass holder pin, the tape.
Nice.
Pandora's 5 years old. Evan's wearing
Yes.
a
They had
Pandora
some sick
5-year
merch
T-shirt
today.
right now.
Some
Yeah.
sick merch.
So All right.
Big day. We had Kenobi and then Pandora's
God.
5th. It's
And
a
then
big day.
Stranger Things 4 dropped as well. I know that's a big deal to a lot of people.
True.
So much going on. So let's get back to Kenobi. So he gives the meat to Eope. He gets on Eope, and then he goes to his cave, right? He takes Eope to his cave, and a lot of these shots that filled from like one action happened to another really showed how Ben, Obi-Wan, whatever you want to call him, Kenobi right now, is just the main driver. Everything that he does is failure. He feels like he's failed because he's having flashbacks of Anakin, of Padme dying. He's just beaten down. He's broken, beaten, scarred, and he's just watching Luke because he eventually goes to his cave, and then I think
I
does
love
he
how he
sleep
gets
for-
this thing.
Yes, yeah. Oh, that's right, because he goes to his cave.
The
and
T-16.
Yes, and a Jawa meets him. Tika? Was it? Tika was the name
I
of the
think
Jawa.
so. Atika.
Tika. I think it was Tika. Name of the Jawa gave him a toy that we find out what really what is it? T-16?
Yeah, it's a T-16. I have that exact toy in
Holy
Indiana.
crap. That's cool.
I'm going to get it next time I go home.
Hell yeah. And then he bought back something that the Jawa stole from him. So
Now, whose Jedi belt was that?
I don't.
Was it the other guy's?
I think so.
Okay. That was kind of cool.
Yeah,
It looked just like the Galaxy's Edge belts.
it did.
Yeah,
Maybe he was on Batu.
possibly.
It's possibly. I doubt we see Batu and Kenobi. I know we talked about it.
No, we
potentially.
won't.
Mandalorian might be the show that we see Batu in live action.
Well, now that Mandalorian is in Disneyland's Batu.
Yeah,
will.
Kyle, did you see this? Boba Fett from Book of Boba Fett and Fennec Shand, starting tomorrow, are going to be character meet and greets at Disneyland in Galaxy's Edge. Kyle's on mute. He might have stepped away.
I don't know why I was on mute, but is it going to be in Disney World too?
Nope.
Not right now, at least.
What?
We don't get
Yeah.
Bantha Poodoo.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Well, that's still cool, though. I mean,
That is cool,
I'm glad that's happening, but they should bring that shit to Disney World because that's where everything really matters.
I mean, we did just get Cosmic Rewind, and I mean,
I don't care.
Same.
I'll
I'll take characters
'cause I
over
like
a
Cosmic
roller
Rewind.
coaster any day.
But this is Cosmic Rewind we're talking about. Like, I'm not gonna be able to sleep because I'm excited about riding this thing tomorrow. Do you remember? What song did you get again? You got the first time you wrote it.
Rule the World.
Okay.
That was awesome. That song is great.
And then you did it a second time, didn't you? Or no?
Yeah, I got Conga once.
Oh, you
And Conga
slut!
does not fit.
You shut up.
It's
Conga does
awful.
fit. No. I mean, I'll pass judgment when I write it, but that's the number one song I wanted to do on that ride. It's got the same tempo as September, essentially. I mean, it's just like a 4x4x4.
I haven't had September.
Oh, September was perfect going backwards. So
Wait. So is the music different for every ride you go on?
Yeah,
Yes.
they
Like every
put
time
all
you go
their
on it?
budget into paying the actors and
That's not what he
getting
asked.
6 songs.
That's not what he asked. It's the same thing on Mission Breakout. It's 6 songs.
Right, but they also put money into other stuff.
That's true. There's a lot of shit in that queue. Yeah, that is true. But yeah, you get a different song just like Mission Breakout and California Adventure. So, all right, finally back to Kenobi. If we're ever going to finish this breakdown.
I have some comments on Kenobi, and it's kind of like what you were saying earlier.
Yeah.
I really like how they're playing up his just just kind of how he feels like he had failed. And I really
Yes.
think they kind of glossed over that because even when you look at Yoda in what was it, like episode maybe 5, I think, and he's in the swamp, you kind of don't get any sense of that, like his failure or how he feels about it. And I really like how they're playing that up in the first 2 episodes. Like it seems like he's just cut himself off from the Force.
Oh, he did until he didn't anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Honestly, though, like Yoda is probably the majority to blame for everything that happened, to be honest. He's probably 55% him. The rest of it is like Mace and the Council and like that kind of stuff. But Obi-Wan has some blame, but Yoda has a lot.
Well, the parts of Brotherhood I've read, Mace Windu is jumping up the spots of Anakin, turning Anakin's fault. He's
it's
definitely
really
growing.
Yoda and then Mace and then everybody else.
Yeah. Even
but-
Obi-Wan.
Yeah, but I love how Return of the Jedi shows this for Luke, and people freak out.
Yeah.
But now Kenobi's showing it, and everyone's like, "Oh, it's the best. This makes great sense."
How
It's like,
could so
it made
many
sense both
Jedi be
times.
wrong though about Anakin?
It's like they were wrong, but they all knew that his judgment was like clouded. But they were like preoccupied with the war because that Palpatine
That's
was
the thing.
orchestrating. So it's just
They weren't really wrong about Anakin. They just treated him horribly.
they treated him terribly.
Yeah, and Ahsoka, the people they
Yep.
treated him and the people he loved awful.
Yep.
So is this like a Clone Wars kind of like backstory thing? Because I feel like I don't know much
More or
about
less.
Ahsoka other than what I've seen in Mando.
Yeah, in the
Yeah.
movies they don't really show how much they screw over Anakin. It's a lot in the Clone Wars. And
Yeah,
in
it's
some
quite
of the
a bit.
books.
Yeah.
The only thing you really get in the movies is they give him a seat on the council, but he's not a master. And that pisses him off. But, like, that shouldn't be enough to be like, I'm going to go kill kids. Like,
Yeah, but they've been like they don't trust him on missions too in the
Yeah.
movies. The biggest thing that like I think that really started Anakin on the like he took a big nosedive was in Clone Wars when Ahsoka was framed
wrongly accused.
and framed for bombing a Jedi temple.
Yep.
And then Anakin got her out of it. It was Barra Safi who was the one who did it and framed her. Anakin figured it out, and the council was going to welcome her back, but she turned her back on him and said, "No, fuck all y'all for thinking that was me from the get go."
Yeah,
So that really upset Anakin, kind of wrecked him.
that's the biggest thing.
Yeah. So we're obviously going to get more of that in the series, but so he's showing his failure, and then he's checking out Luke, and these two scenes might be swapped, but it doesn't matter the timeline they go.
Right.
And then he goes to see Luke. He sees Uncle Owen out on the farm, and Luke's up there looking like Anakin.
And one time
as he
Luke,
was
like,
saying.
disappears.
Yes.
And Obi-Wan's like, where'd he go? He's freaking out a
Yeah.
little bit.
Yeah.
And he was behind the hut. Like,
Yeah. And then he's on there like he's on a pod racer,
yeah.
just like
Yippee!
And yeah, yippee. So then another scene overnight. Obi-Wan's back in his cave, and he's laying down on the bedrock, and he's having nightmares. And then he gets up and he's calling out for. He says, "Master." He's calling out for Qui-Gon.
Master Qui-Gon.
Master Qui-Gon. So I don't know about you. Like at first, I'm like, they're not going to show
Not
Liam
episode
Neeson
1.
yet. I know,
No,
but I was also expecting the unexpected out of this too.
He's the turning point. That's going to be in, like, episode 3.5, like right in the
Ro-
halfway of episode
Right in the
3.
middle. Yeah.
Yeah.
I have a very big potential, like probably won't happen guess for next episode. And
Okay.
we'll get to that when we get to that point here.
Yeah.
But yeah, so they're teasing the hell out of Qui-Gon showing up as a Force ghost, and he's absolutely going to, and I can't wait for
Yeah. He has to.
Maybe he was just singing the lyrics to Master of Puppets in that scene.
that. Woke up, Master.
So is this when we get, like, a jump over to Alderaan?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
And so we go
Misdirect of this little kid.
Misdirect, yeah. So we were showed Alderaan for the very first. Well, not the first time. It was in Revenge of the Sith for like a hot minute.
Yeah, like 6 seconds.
When Bale brought Leia to, what's her name?
Breya.
Breya. Duh, I knew that. So, but now we see all of it. It's gorgeous planet, very Naboo-ish, but with high Everest-like
It's
mountains.
like if Epcot was real. Like,
yeah,
that's
it's
what
true.
Naboo is. Or
It's
not
true.
Naboo, Alderaan.
So then we get a little girl, looked to be about 10 years old, getting all dressed up in like her best, her princess
Ceremonial
best.
robes,
Yes,
or-
ceremonial robes, and then
Yeah.
it's I knew it was Leia from the jump. I'm like, it's Leia because
Yeah,
I could tell as a
yeah.
kid. Like we knew it was Princess
For
Leia,
sure.
and then it turns out she pulled a Padme on her mother, and it was one of her friends.
Yep.
And
But
then
I love Breya, too. Breya's like, she's either in the kitchen or in the woods.
yeah,
She knows exactly what her daughter does.
and she was in the woods.
Yeah.
She was running through, and then we get introduced to her droid Lola here.
Yeah. Yep. Now did you see that toy they dropped too?
Yeah,
Yeah, a physical Lola toy.
I do. So we're learning too that Leia, and by the way, she was my favorite character from the first 2 episodes.
Yeah.
She was really good.
She stood out.
She was really good
Yeah.
as a kid.
Really good child
For a
actor.
child actor, she was really good.
Really good.
I was surprised.
I want to look this up. I think the only other thing she might have been in was Bird Box, and I was like meh about Bird Box. But this was also a couple years ago.
I haven't seen that.
Kyle, did you ever see Bird
I've
Box?
se- I've seen Bird Box, and I actually did like that movie. I thought that was a smart horror movie.
Okay.
I think it's getting a little bit overplayed though, because now like somebody did like that one was about eyes, and then I think somebody did one about like ears.
Oh, someone's doing one about
Uh-uh.
Winnie the Pooh too.
Oh, that's a real thing.
Oh my God!
Oh, no.
You know what? I keep reading more stuff about that, and it just seems insane.
'Cause it
I
became
kinda
public
do really
domain.
want to. What?
I was telling Evan it's because it became public domain in January. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, I didn't. What does that even mean? Because like, did Disney not fully own the rights to Winnie the Pooh?
Well,
what's
technically,
going
even
on
Mickey
with that?
Mouse one day could become public domain.
Mhm.
They keep pushing that back and back and back. But at one point, you just can't own something forever.
I heard that about Mickey Mouse too. I think he's at risk at the moment too. I
Yeah.
remember reading
Right.
something
Yeah.
about that.
He must not have heard you.
Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, he just became public domain. So they're taking him and doing a horrible horror movie about it. It's just Piglet,
Well, I was reading.
Piglet and Pooh
I
look
was
terrible.
I was reading today that it's Winnie the Pooh and Piglet go on a rampage, and like it starts out where they're eating Eeyore. It just seems fucking.
Ugh.
I don't know if they're gonna go for like a serious horror movie or like some campy horror movie. Whatever the case is, I don't know. I think
Well,
it's gonna be kind of great.
If the first scene is Winnie the Pooh and Piglet eating Eeyore, it's 1,000% going to be campy.
Oh yeah, that's true.
He was just a depressed fucker anyway. He deserved to
I
die.
could just like I saw him with like a mallet in one of the stills, and I'm just like, is he gonna like bludgeon somebody and then be like, oh bother?
Probably.
Oh,
Think,
bother.
think.
Do they have any honey?
Maybe like he thinks all people are like heffalumps and woozles, and he just goes on a rampage because he's just tired of running from them. Somebody tells him like Pooh, like they stole all his honey, and he just loses his shit and goes on a rampage,
Pooh Pooh.
like murking people.
I
We'll
can see that.
Only time will
I don't
tell,
want
I
to see that,
suppose.
but I could see them doing that.
Only time will tell. So we're getting Leia in the woods, and we learn about her character. She's very sassy. And then
Very smart too, though. She's like, "That's that shit.
Yo,
That's this
she's
shit."
very smart. She's Leia. She's very Leia
Yeah.
at 10 already.
Yeah.
So they go on like this. They're going to a party or some ceremony where she sees her aunt, uncle, and
Their family's
cousin.
coming. Yeah.
Yeah, and they're mingling, and we get to see 3PO
Yep.
in the party, and he's just talking in another language to somebody. And for a hot minute there, when I saw him, I'm like, oh, and then I thought, oh yeah, he's on the Tantive 4 in A New Hope. So
yeah. At
both
this point,
both R2 and 3PO are with Leia.
Bale owns
Bale's
them
got
at this
him.
point.
Yeah. So we're definitely going to see R2, I think, in this series again.
Most likely.
Yeah, he'll be around. So anyway, we get they get to the ceremony, and she's having like a conversation with her
cousin.
her cousin, yeah, and her cousin
A
just
droid comes up and serves him some drinks.
yeah, that's right.
And she says thank you to the droid. And the cousin's a little jerk, and he's like, "You don't need to be polite to droids. They're lower life forms."
Lower life forms, yeah. So and then she rips him a new one
Oh,
for
but
it.
then he goes even lower and says,
He
"You're
does.
not even an Organa."
Yeah, that was.
I hated him for that.
that
I'm
was
like,
big,
"You're gonna
yeah.
die for that, man."
Oh yeah, well yeah, he probably will, but he's also like young as hell.
I hope
Um,
he's on Alderaan
so-
when it blows up.
I have a question here for you guys.
Yeah,
Tom, you talked to me about that book about Leia,
yeah,
and it talked heavily about her relationship with General Holdo.
hell yeah,
Do they know each other from a young age?
yeah.
Yeah. Oh,
they
I didn't
met-
think about that.
No, they met in Princess Leia of Alderaan.
Okay, but could she sneak into the series?
No, because that would
Okay.
because this is before Leia, Princess of Alderaan.
Okay.
She met. I mean, I don't want him to retcon that. Like, maybe they'll show Holo there. Maybe they don't talk to each other, just like a different colored hair girl. But they 1000% met in that novel. Yeah.
Okay. I don't want him to retcon it either.
Because this is probably about 4 or 5 years before the novel.
Well, like Rebels, when we see Leia, she's 15.
Yeah,
so that's 5 years after Kenobi.
Yeah, so and Leia's about that age in the novel. She's like old enough. It's like she has her first like love interest and all that stuff.
Okay.
Man, the thing that happens to him is fucking crazy. Oh, here he comes. Here he comes.
Oh, look who it is. Look who it is trying to take over my show with his Indiana Jones love. You fucking dork.
I'm the host now, bitch.
I called you a dork and I'm leaving Star Wars Celebration and I called you a dork. That's how lame you are, dog.
Whatever.
Anyway, what's going on, fellas?
We're talking about
Did
Kenobi.
You guys hear what I was telling you about the HasLab stuff?
Kind of.
I heard that's we're kind of talking about Kenobi. We're like all over the place. We kind of talked about the HasLab. We last heard you, so it's just a lot of money.
Nice. Yeah, it is, and they're already having people back it like now. It's like live, I guess. It'd be kind of cool if you get something extra for doing it at Celebration. You know, like maybe like an additional accessory or something.
Yeah.
But how do you guys feel about a HasLab lightsaber project? It's
right up,
strange, right?
Right up front, I don't like it.
I'm not into it because I just buy legacies, so I'm out.
I don't even know what that means.
So for the people who don't know, like Kyle and other listeners who might not know, Hasbro does this thing where they do it's called a HasLab project, and it's not something that's traditional retail. So you can't buy it from them. You can't, order it through Amazon. It has to be purchased through them. But it's a way that like they charge a premium, but you get like a really cool product. Some of the stuff in the past, like the Jabba's Sailbard Vintage Collection, which is I think probably still the best one they've ever done. And they did the Razor Crest, and then they had the Rancor that failed. So usually you get like an exceptional value for the money. I just don't see it here with this. I will say it is massive. It's way longer than any double-bladed lightsaber from Galaxy's Edge. It is huge.
And that's saying a lot because Maul's original one is
Maul's
like
is
9
enormous.
feet long.
Yeah.
Jaro
Tapal's is big.
It's way bigger than
Maul's.
Maul's.
Yeah.
I mean, it's massive. It's huge. I would be into it if you could move it, like if it was motorized. I didn't stay to see that they just wrapped the panel, and they just like unveiled all that stuff as I was standing there. So, I didn't get to see like what the details of it were. It was just too crowded. So I'll go see it tomorrow morning when no one else is there. So.
But this means eventually we're getting a
it's
legacy Inquisitor saber, right?
Say that again.
Like eventually, within the next year, we'll get like an Inquisitor saber, maybe 2 years.
I see. I bet you they're not going to do one now because of this HasLab project. They're going to make their own competition because, it's two different companies with Hasbro, but Disney's not going to want to shoot themselves in the foot because they're going to want people to buy this one.
Possibly. I mean, I know it's
I don't
not
know. I
HasLab,
don't
but
know
they
how I feel
do
about
Black
it.
Series sabers and stuff.
I feel like the HasLab stuff should be more like display pieces, and there's no real practical way to display this. It's so big.
Yeah, that's true. That's another reason why I don't think I want it. I don't know where the hell I'd put it. Not here.
Right up there.
The blades come out and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I will say, in person, it does look really cool, and it's just a prototype. So hopefully it'll look even better. Maybe they'll give some more details soon, but who knows? Who knows?
Who fucking knows? Yeah.
But what were you Franks and Beans idiots talking about before I jumped on?
We just got to Leia.
Yeah, we just got to Leia.
Kenobi.
She just.
Oh, in Obi-Wan?
Yeah,
okay.
she just put down her cousin. Just put him down.
Jerk of a
cousin. That's my favorite part.
Cousin.
Yeah.
Hilarious.
Yeah, cousin.
That's the part I missed because people were talking, and Nick told him to shut up.
Oh. Well, we need to tell the cousin to shut up.
I can barely hear you guys. It's loud as crap, so I'm going to run. You guys have fun. Kyle, you should probably leave too because you just do nothing. So enjoy it. Oh, in all seriousness, what did you think of Obi-Wan, Kyle?
Oh, I was just telling Tom that I thought it was brilliant. 10 out of 10. It was like the next level. I'm just so excited for this series. I mean, I can't say enough about it. Just
perfect.
Very impressed.
I feel the exact same way. So You guys have fun talking, and I'm gonna go run to Trader Sam's now. Bye, guys.
Have
Later.
fun.
Jealous.
Bye, guys.
He was on video the whole time.
It was like in his pocket or something the whole
Yeah,
time.
Yeah. So anyway, God, he wasn't wearing pants on that. Jesus. Walking the streets
What
in
kind of pocket
California.
was that?
Well, walking the streets in California with your pants off, you just fit right in.
That's fairly normal
Homeless,
for California.
yeah,
I mean-
people pooping on the
I mean,
streets.
makes it easier to poo on the ground there. I mean, Amber Heard must love it there. I mean, I don't know.
Amber
must
Heard
be-
loves California.
That is the best joke Kyle's ever made. I loved it.
Yeah, I don't know if I'll top that. It's got to be a poop joke because I'm a
Yes.
classy guy.
Agreed. All poop jokes are classy now.
Yes.
Oh man, Batman just ate his shit on his prototype glider. He's down. Batman is down. So we're Leia. So and then after that, she's having a conversation with her father, Bail Organa, and this is a great conversation because it's like she's getting like the kind of direction that will eventually play into the Leia that we know and love as like Senator Organa and Princess and even just General Organa. Like this is the patience that she learns, right? This is like classic Leia. She's super stubborn, just like Padme and her father, Anakin. So yeah, it's just more fleshing out of the character. So we, she runs back out into the woods after talking to her father, and then Flea from the Red Hot Chili Peppers shows up and kidnaps her after running around.
He looks like a Star Wars villain. I was just
He
thinking
kinda
that the
does.
entire time when I was watching him. I'm like, he looks like a Star Wars villain. Or like a goon. Like he
does.
looks like a good goon.
He's definitely a goon.
Yeah, he's not like a top tier villain. Like he's definitely a goon, and that's what his character is, just a goon.
Yeah, and that was fine. So he was a goon. So he takes her, gets her into a ship, and then eventually taken, and they put a bag around her. So little 10-year-old Princess Leia has been kidnapped. So, alas, we go back to Obi-Wan Kenobi, and he gets a call.
Have we got the random Jedi coming to him yet, or is that?
Oh no,
Yeah.
no. Do you want to talk about that? I completely
I'll
jumped over that.
try. So, the random Jedi has been like dodging the Inquisitors.
Yeah.
And he finds Obi-Wan on his Eope, just like walking along the desert. And he's like, he calls him out. He's like, "You're Obi-Wan Kenobi. Like, I need your help. You gotta come out of hiding and help me."
Mm-hmm.
And Obi-Wan's like, "I'm Ben. I don't know who you're talking
Yeah.
about."
Yeah.
He drops the act after like 5 minutes of trying to say he's not Obi-Wan.
Right.
And
And it was about he told him to take his lightsaber in the
Bury
middle
it
of
in
the
the
desert
sand.
and bury it in the sand,
Yeah.
just like
Which-
Obi-Wan did.
which I'm like, is that a reference to episode 9 or something? But no, later in the episode we see
Right.
Kenobi buried Anakin and Kenobi's sabers
That's
out in the
right.
desert.
It's good to see the Anakin saber, so we know he had it. So
Yeah.
we also skipped over the Uncle Owen and Ben speech.
So, yeah, I don't remember the order of these
Yeah.
events.
That's
Yeah.
okay, but that was such a great speech because we already knew it was coming. Like,
and
just
that's when the Inquisitors threaten Owen.
yes, they
Oh, this
threaten
scene was
Owen,
awesome.
and he doesn't give up Obi-Wan.
But it's not for Obi-Wan. I
Right,
love
it's
that. Obi-Wan's
for
like,
that other guy.
"Thank you, Owen." And
Yeah.
he's like, "I didn't do it for you."
Right.
Yeah.
That was a good scene because it sets how tense things are.
Right. And it shows how unhinged Reva is, too.
Yeah, we
Is
get
it
a-
Reva? I always say it wrong. Reva?
I
Reva.
think fifth brother called her Reva.
Reva. Okay.
Yeah.
But she just like takes control of this situation, and the one quote she says, I'll probably misquote it, but it was like, "The first thing we're gonna start with is hands,
Mm-hmm.
because then if you go to reach for something, you'll think of us."
Yep.
And she
that was exactly.
chopped somebody's hands off.
She chopped
Some
that
old
old
woman.
woman's hand off.
Yeah.
Just whoop.
Yeah.
So like right then and there, we're learning that Reva's like third sister is
A
quite
little crazy.
badass and crazy.
Yeah.
She clearly.
If you're too radical for the Inquisitors, you're too radical.
It's true.
Yeah.
So-
Because all the
so with
Inquisitors are
the-
like, you gotta chill.
With the Inquisitors, I mean, what does it mean to be like a third sister? Is that like, is there different ranks in the Inquisitors?
There is, but and I actually meant to look this up because the fifth brother was talking down to her like she was not his rank.
Right.
So
The
I
only
would
thing I know for sure is the Grand Inquisitor is
is
the leader.
the leader. Yeah.
But that's obvious. That's all I know.
Interesting. You know, I found it like really coincidental today when they dropped the, you know, Jedi Fallen Order 2 or Jedi Survivor. It's called, right?
Jedi Star
He's in
Wars
it.
Jedi Survivor.
Star Wars Jedi Survivor, and then the Grand Inquisitor was included in the trailer. I thought that
Yeah.
was really interesting.
Well, I've got when we get to the second part of the second episode, and we'll fly through this. I know we're kind of it's already
Yeah.
almost 9:30.
We
so.
got this though.
Yeah, yeah. I want to make mention of that specifically, and we could talk about the potential tie-ins. But so hold that
Okay.
thought. Hold that thought, because I'm with you there, Kyle. I know exactly where we're going to go with this. So, she's captured, and then so yeah, we have the Owen scene, and then this is where we can go back to Obi-Wan gets the call from Breya and Bail.
And it's like straight up, help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope.
Pretty much, yeah. Yeah, that's exactly what that was. So after that, it was he just said flat out, nah.
Yeah.
He's like, I ain't doing it.
I liked his calm. His
Mhm.
calm was just like straight from the prequels.
Yeah,
Because it's the same one.
right. It's the same exact one. So then after that, he goes out and does his thing, and you could show him he's visibly pissed because he slams his like cloth down after he was done cutting the meat. And then he gets
Yeah.
back to his cave, and the little droid, the security sent
Is
it
that
thing
R4 from the
Ba-
prequels? Like his
buried in the sand.
Yeah.
Could be.
Yeah, that would be cool if it was. That's his astromech from the prequels.
By the way, this is the greatest Batmobile chase scene ever.
I was just gonna say, is that the Batmobile chase scene?
Yeah, yeah. Can you hear it? I should turn
Is
it
that
down.
loud enough you can hear it?
I can hear it. I'm like, it is one of the greatest scenes. Definitely in that movie.
That's funny. Oh, I got you, you son of a bitch. So anyway, that is funny that we're picking it up on the show, but good. Everybody loves the Batman. So Ben goes back and he's warned by the droid, like, yo,
Somebody's here.
Somebody's here.
Yeah.
He walks in, cloaked figure. At first, I'm like,
Yeah, I was a little scared. I'm like, what's
like,
going down?
whoa, who's this? And then it was Bail Organa. He
Yep.
showed up,
Yep.
found Ben, and pretty much after a very good back and forth, he talked him into it. Because the very next scene, we see the foreshadowed earlier of him unburying the sabers and taking his back.
Yeah. I was a little, not really sad because it makes perfect sense, but I was for a second expecting to see his Jedi Interceptor out somewhere hiding. But I'm like, he can't fly that because if someone sees it, they'll be like, that's a Jedi. So, like, that give him away right off the bat. So it makes sense why he's got to go use, like, public transportation.
Where is his interceptor?
I don't know.
Because he got to
We haven't seen it.
Mustafar on the
Oh, with
ship that Padme. Yeah.
So the last we saw it was on Grievous's ship. So it probably just blew up with that ship.
On Utapau?
No, in the Battle of Coruscant. In the opening scene of Revenge of the Sith.
Oh, that's right. Yeah,
Yeah.
shit. How did he get to Grievous when he killed him? How do you fly there?
Oh, he has another one. He flies a different one.
He must
But
fly
then
different.
that flies away and leaves him on Utapau. And then he flies Grievous's ship to
Right.
Coruscant.
Right, so the last time we see it was
Yeah.
Coruscant. All right, then. Interesting.
Yeah. And that was the last time he had an astromech. So maybe this astromech outside his cave is just some random
Yeah.
astromech.
So anyway.
The minutia of random stuff that we just
Yeah.
talked about.
So basically, I don't think I'm leaving anything out here. He leads up. He steps in front of the transport. He's going to go to Daimo or Dayumu, whatever the new
I
planet
forgot
is.
what it's called.
It's basically like a criminal underworld.
Yeah.
It's like a seedy Las
was like-
Vegas planet.
I thought they were saying Gaia for a second. I thought it was Dia.
You
Dia
got the
with a D.
halcyon on the brain.
Right. But I thought it sounded like that, but I think it was Dia with a D.
Okay, probably is. So then he gets on it, and then the final shot is the boop reveal that the saber is connected,
Right, he's just, kind of wielding that a little
and Obi-Wan is
loosey-goosey.
back.
Yeah.
So yeah, that first episode was almost an hour.
Now, has anyone, like, had the Obi-Wan musical theme stick with them?
Not
Or-
yet.
Okay,
But-
yeah, I'm still,
but
like,
mine-
I've heard it, but I need to, like,
But-
sit with it.
Yeah, with the shows, that Norma doesn't catch up to me till about the third or fourth episode.
Yeah.
And then, because I mean, yeah, Mandalorian. Like that's like a when I hear it, I just take them back to like those first 2 seasons, and Book of Boba Fett too. So yeah, they're bangers. But Kenobi's is gonna be John Williams wrote it. So all right, so that's the first episode, and then the second episode just basically kicked us right off. They're flying into if I remember correctly, flying right into that criminal city.
Well, at some point in that first episode, I think it's when Obi-Wan's going to the ship, he sees that other Jedi dead.
Oh, duh, yeah.
And
He's just kind of
he's not hung with a noose.
No.
But he's hanging there.
He's just hanging up there, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the kind of another part of probably push Kenobi over the edge.
Yeah.
So much happened. So yeah, he gets to the Obi-Wan gets to the city. He gets off I can't remember if the Inquisitors were there yet.
They're not there yet.
No.
Because the drummer from Chili Peppers has to tip him off.
Bass player.
To say that, hey, I've got him here. Oh, yeah, they're bass players.
Bass player, yeah. Oh, that's right. Yeah, they tips off. So do we find... this episode, I just watched it. I don't know why I'm like all over the place with the beginning. They basically get... Obi-Wan gets on the city, and... Oh, that's
there.
right.
He's asking everybody
he gets off
for
the
info.
ship. Yeah,
Some
and then...
little person... Was it a girl, guy? I don't know.
No.
Somebody
Before
gives him
that, he
spice.
goes to some. No, yeah. Before that, he goes to somebody. And he's like, "I've been tracking a ship, but the tracking's down." He's like, the tracking's off on
It's
this.
like
planet.
everything's blocked here.
Yeah.
Like,
And then there was like a not a preteen. She's
A
probably
little
in
drug
like her
dealer.
late teens,
it was like
trying to sell him spice.
it was like, do you want some death sticks? Basically.
And because he's disconnected from the Force right now, he couldn't. Like, you want to go home and rethink your life decisions.
Yeah. So he's like, I don't want any of that. I want info. And then she's like, here, this one's for free.
Yep.
Which is like how I would imagine drug dealers probably really work.
Mhm.
They get you hooked on something for
Exactly.
cheap, and then they make you come back and buy it.
I would have taken the Felucian spice, the one that they kept going through.
I've had Felucian shrimp, so
I had
could
too.
see that.
And it tastes exactly like Earth shrimp.
Earth shrimp, crazy.
And then this leads up to one of my favorite parts, and this was such a cool. This is probably fan service, but I don't care. This was done very well. But as soon as I heard Tamara Morrison's voice,
Oh yeah.
then we turn and see and this was cool because it's like, yeah, what happened to the clone troopers who are just alive?
Yeah.
And like this is like this is kind of crazy, like kind of the state of how the country might treat its veterans. But like a veteran of a war that he didn't be asked, he was born into, bearded, homeless, holding out his helmet for credits.
Yeah.
Like he can't do anything else.
And that's exactly what the Empire did do with all the clones.
Yep.
They slowly phased them out. They replaced them with just normal stormtroopers, and just kicked them to the side. So
Yep.
we've seen the clones that did that and joined the rebellion. We've seen the ones that were trapped in the Bad Batch, and the Bad Batch broke them out. But now we've seen one just become homeless.
Yep.
And that fits this planet in the story perfectly.
At first, I was like, "Is this Rex?" But like, no, Rex is doing other stuff.
Yeah, I
but
thought it was
yeah.
Rex too for a second. I'm like,
Yeah,
that
but
doesn't
I
line up.
had to ground myself and remember that
Yeah.
Rex is off with. He might be with Ahsoka right now.
Yeah, Rebels something.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Rebels.
Not yet. Rebels doesn't happen yet.
True. So it's
Rebels
after
is like in
season
another
7.
5 years. Yeah.
Of Clone Wars.
Mhm.
Yeah, yeah.
So anyway, and then he finally gets into that little kid. Not so little. He might be like a preteen. It tells him there's a Jedi that could help him.
Right away, I'm like, I don't trust this kid.
No, yeah,
And
that was,
I think you're meant to
that
not
was
trust him.
shady as shit. So we get some scenes with Leia too, and I think there's a scene with her and Lola here too.
She's trying to fix the droid, and
Or
the
no,
droid's
she's
trying to break her out.
Lola's trying to get her out,
Yeah.
and then that's when Flea comes in, and he's like, "I'm a terrible bass player," and he throws throws the droid down.
He did say that. It was in like
He
the
did.
subtitles.
It's
You had
canon,
to
yeah.
Turn it on.
So yeah, a lot. I mean, a lot. There's a lot to carry the story on here. So Obi-Wan finally goes to that Jedi. He sees the Jedi very weirdly doing like mind tricks from like a comm, and then
Yeah.
he's asking for credits and he's getting them out of there. So you know he's shady.
He closed the window, like
Yeah,
the blinds,
yeah.
just by like pushing a button.
Exactly.
But he made it look like the Force.
Yeah, you know he's shady. So Obi-Wan confronts him and finds out he's using magnets in a
Obi-Wan just points a gun at his face.
Yeah, I know.
And it makes sense, but it was just so funny to say
Yeah.
that Obi-Wan is pointing a gun in somebody's
Yeah.
face.
So this was him asking for information for where she is, where
And
Leia
also
is.
saying, like, you're just lying to these people. You're a criminal.
Yeah, exactly.
And the other guy's like, I actually am saving them.
yeah,
Like, I'm just
but I
getting
want
money.
credits. Yeah, can you blame him? So we get.
So I have
yeah,
a question. As I was watching this, and up until like the end of the second episode, I know you guys talked about in the past, like this, you kind of want it to be a limited series, but don't you feel like this could be a much larger story? Like it could literally go on a couple seasons.
it could, but that's to be said about the Clone Wars series. Like that went too long. Like you have to hit things
Oh,
right.
yeah, that's right.
Like you just have to hit things right. And right now, to me, Kenobi feels like a limited series, especially
So
with Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, all these people who are going to be
Especially
involved
how
in
this episode wraps up, where it's like we're already getting the main villain coming. Like,
So do you feel like this is the story about Obi-Wan's maybe redemption?
Part of it. Yeah.
yeah,
Part of it?
yeah,
Yeah, because that arc completes in A New Hope, and carries over a bit as he's a Force ghost, but it's really done then.
yeah.
And he's just more like
So,
an added
but-
bonus.
But this isn't the Clone Wars, though, because the Clone Wars are technically done.
Correct.
Right?
Correct. Yeah, this is post Order 66, 10 years after
Okay.
the Clone Wars.
So this is like there's not been like an animated show where they kind of talked about what happened during this time period.
No,
No.
The closest is Rebels, but as Tom said, that's 5 years.
Yeah,
after.
it's 5 years later. So,
So
yeah,
this is like quote unquote peacetime.
sort of. I mean,
Kinda.
peacetime from the Empire, but
Yeah,
but the Empire is like
the
growing.
rebels are building.
Yeah,
Slowly.
exactly. So Obi-Wan figures it out. They tell him where Leia's at. So they get to that building. It's basically a spice meth lab.
Yeah, it is. I do want to back it up though.
Oh yeah.
The little kid that the non-Jedi saved.
Yeah,
He mentioned something about what the abilities your
that's
son
right.
has.
Force sensitive kid.
So where is he sending this kid? That's what I want to know.
Yeah, I
Is
don't.
it-
Oh, Corellia.
It was. They said.
Yeah,
Corellia.
they said Corellia.
So that's just for hiding. He's
Yeah.
not sending him to like another Jedi or anything.
No,
Okay.
going to Corellia to see Han.
Right.
Where's Han right now? So when was
Han
Solo?
is probably about 18, 20
when
right
was
now.
Solo in the timeline?
Yeah,
again?
that's a good question.
Because it's between obviously Revenge of the
I think
Sith
it's
and 4.
5 years before A New Hope.
So about Rebels timeline.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Han's
about 10-ish years older than Luke and Leia.
okay. So
I-
he's
you
20.
know
He's
what?
20-ish right now
Yeah.
in Kenobi.
I feel like even with Cal Kestis, I mean, there's a lot of characters that can really steal the show here, and I think they really should. I mean, not that I don't want to see a Cal Kestis cameo or of some kind, but I just feel like the story will be really good if they just keep it like contained and focus on Obi-Wan Kenobi. I don't know. I mean, could you imagine like Cal Kestis just walks in, or they like have Han Solo show up?
No,
I mean, I
Han
feel
won't
like-
show up.
Yeah.
Han won't show up. The only people there's two chances of cameos in this.
It's Qui-Gon.
Well, Qui-Gon's a guaranteed already.
Right, right.
But I'm talking about Cal is one of them, and Ahsoka's another.
Yep.
Because
Yep.
Ahsoka's out there too. Obi-Wan knows that. Ahsoka knows Obi-Wan exists. They both know what each other's doing.
And we already got one of the questions answered at the end of this episode here of who tells Obi-Wan Vader
That's
and
right.
Anakin are still alive.
That's right. We're gonna get to
We're
that.
all thinking it could be Ahsoka, but
Yeah,
here we see it is not Ahsoka.
that is right.
We'll get there.
But she doesn't know it yet. It could
True.
have just been a feeling. She doesn't know it yet. So
True.
anyway, what the hell was I talking about? Oh yeah, the cameos. I think, yeah, and I completely 1,000% agree with you, Kyle. The story should be contained about Obi-Wan and Anakin, Obi-Wan and Vader.
Yep.
I'm with you, but based on the trailer we saw today for Survivor, the shit that Ewan said about knowing shit from video games, and then seeing the Grand Inquisitor in the trailer and just the timing of everything. Cal has dealt with Inquisitors before. If
Yep.
if Cal doesn't show up in this series, I mean, because I think he could show up and it's going to make sense because the game he's in next lines up with the same story, and Obi-Wan and him could talk, and it could still be part of the story. Like, I don't need him for a full episode. Like, 5 minutes of just showing up and kind of...
And if they do him, that's how they'll do it. It'll be 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, and that's fine. But it can work while keeping the story contained, right?
It'll be like Ahsoka and Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Right. And not like a full episode for The Mandalorian, but that fed into the story for that anyway. So
yeah.
So I'm game. Let's do it.
So, it's interesting that, some people complain that, like, Star Wars never should have continued on, but I don't know. I feel like with all the mediums that Star Wars has its hand in, I just want more of it, and it makes me appreciate it that much more. And, I wonder just maybe about some of the older generations, like, that haven't played video games or just, like, they never got into it, or they just kind of miss out on this, great piece of, like, story, here.
Yeah,
I think that's a lot of it. A lot of people were like, all right, I saw Return of the Jedi, and then they didn't read or play anything for 20-ish years,
Yep.
and then Phantom Menace came out, and they're like, all right, I guess I'll watch that.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of it.
In their slave Leia bikinis.
Yeah.
So he crashes the meth lab, he beats a couple people up, and then finds Leia. Finds Leia. Well,
I love how Leia already had, like, escaped.
Yeah,
and,
yeah.
like,
She
tried to beat him up.
Right. So he gets caught by the flea and all of his ticks, and then gets away from him by throwing, like, that gas bomb thing that he stole, and then finds
he throws
Leia.
a mask on, so he's safe.
Yeah, and then they're, like, trying to run out together, so they eventually get out of there, and then they're in the streets of this crime-ridden city.
Right. And when Flea had Obi-Wan captured, he called the Inquisitor,
Reva,
specifically
that's right. Reva. Yeah, he called her, and that's when we find out she was the one behind getting all those bounty hunters out to get Kenobi. So
so after she gets there and sees Kenobi escaped, she sends out the beacon. It's like, everybody in the city,
that's
give
right.
me Kenobi.
Send this beacon out to everybody. So they got to change because Obi-Wan realizes there's a hit out for him. So they got to change. They go get and there's a really cute moment where Leia's, like, putting the gloves on, and Obi-Wan says, no, not the gloves.
Just the cloak or whatever.
And then he turns and he's like, okay, the gloves too.
And the gloves.
It's a really nice kind of almost like uncle and niece dynamic.
Yeah.
Between the two of them, and it's really cool to see because we've never really seen Obi-Wan and Leia interact.
Hardly at all in A New Hope.
Hardly in A New Hope. Like,
yeah.
Are they even like?
No, they're never on screen together.
No, the only thing is he sees the projection of her.
Right.
And
then later on the Death Star, they tell Leia they're here for Kenobi. She goes, Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah,
and
but
that's it.
But she's with them. She runs by him,
she can see him from a distance
dies.
fighting Vader.
Yeah. But that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. That's nuts.
That is crazy.
That's cool. I'm glad they explored Leia's.
Yeah.
Because it makes sense as to why, and I think we called that out a few episodes ago. It makes sense as to why he got off planet, and he really didn't want to get off planet.
Yeah.
Which makes sense because of Luke. So we get through the city.
She doesn't really trust him at this whole scene here. She's like, "Are you really a Jedi? Who are you?"
Right. That's right.
How do I know you're not kidnapping me?
That's right. She keeps asking all these questions, but they have to keep.
She says, "If you're a Jedi, make me float."
Right. Make me float, which comes into play.
Yep.
So we get past everything, and they, Reva shows up, and then she is looking. Well, I think you just she's there and she's looking, but then the message gets to Haja.
Yeah,
the one who was faking a Jedi. That crap, there's a bounty on him. Well, we better go get him. And it makes it look like he's going to try to kill him for the.
He's like, let's get
for
him
the
first.
reward. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's like Obi-Wan tussles with a few of them. I think he shoots somebody
on the rooftops.
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay.
Not yet. Because before the rooftops, it is. Oh wait, no. I think the rooftops was first.
Haja comes back after the rooftops.
Oh, it is after the rooftops. Okay,
yeah.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
So yes, there's pivotal scenes up on the rooftop. Leia is running away from Obi-Wan, and she climbs up ladders because she freaks out and just doesn't trust him because she's asking all these questions because she makes out that Leia makes out because she's smart that she got captured because of Obi-Wan.
Yep.
She's like, you're
she
the real
was
villain.
The bait
Yeah.
to draw Kenobi out.
So she's running away from Kenobi. She gets on the roofs, and that's where they're like chasing each other, and then they eventually get to a spot. While Reva, who was on top of the buildings,
She
looking,
can see this blaster fire.
we get a new Jedi power in Force parkour. Patent
Some of
pending.
that looked a little.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Jumping around, and then she's running after him, but then Leia's stuck in like this battle fire between Kenobi and some of the bounty hunters, mainly the low-key alligator dude with the machine gun.
Yeah, that thing was weird looking. But
that was crazy.
yeah.
So then he kills one of them and then kind of clears it out, and then Leia tries to jump, but she falls.
She's sizing up this jump, and he's like, "You're not gonna
and
make it."
she grabs onto like a clothesline, but then she drops, and she's just Ben, and it's like, no, but we know she's gonna survive. So then you see Obi-Wan struggling. He's reaching out, and then you could tell he's trying to get into the Force, and he finally
it's the
gets
first
it.
time he's used the Force in 10 years.
He had to find it.
Yeah.
Had to find it, and then he finally makes her float. He finally made Leia float.
Yep.
That was such a good payoff.
Yeah, it was. It was. And that's when she finally trusts him.
Well, yeah.
Yep. For obvious reasons.
So they get attacked by the droid, and then this is when the Haja comes in and basically gives him coordinates for friends like him. So this is where this is my
the
bold,
question.
This is my bold prediction for episode 3, and I could be wrong. I probably am, but it's still going to be a great episode. I think the friends they're talking about are Grease, Seer, and Cal, and Marin.
That would be so cool.
I don't know if we'll
Where
see
do you think
Marin.
they're at? On the Mantis or out on a planet somewhere?
Yeah, on a planet somewhere on the Mantis. Like the Mantis is parked wherever they're at currently.
Okay.
But those are the coordinates that they're at.
That'd be cool. I'm trying to think. Are they going back to Pagano maybe, or are they?
Could be. If like
Zeph-
Kenobi opens up and like wakes up and he's like, oh, time to go to Pagano.
Yeah.
I'll just crap.
And maybe
myself.
we get like a Eno Cordova. He'll be like, I remember Master Cordova.
Yeah, they can make mention. He's long deceased though. I think.
He is.
Yeah, that's right. That'd be cool.
So Haja comes back, and they're like, "Why should we trust you? Like,
Right.
You're probably just selling us out."
Right. Exactly.
And he's like, "You got no other options."
exactly.
So then they say, "All right, we'll go check this out." He sends them up to an automated shipping
Yeah, that cargo.
location.
That
because
cargo
all the passenger transports are locked,
Mhm.
lockdown by the order of the Grand Inquisitor.
place. Correct.
He comes into play, and he's like, "Third sister, you've screwed this whole situation up. You're done. Like,
You're done.
You're,
Exactly.
You're relieved of this duty. I got this."
Yeah.
And that pisses her off. So
Mhm.
then she's not okay with that.
Yeah, that's when she did everything we already talked about.
Right.
Yeah,
So she
we're
tracks
kinda
them up
bouncing around,
on
yeah.
top of the
Yeah.
shipping section.
Right, but before that, don't forget that she finds him because she reads the mind of
Yes.
Haja. That's
I
a
love
big
this
deal
scene,
because
yeah.
Reva that's a power she uses. So
Yes.
third sister reads the mind that we've seen Vader
Little
do, Kylo Ren do.
Vader,
Yeah.
Kylo.
So then turning it around, she finds him up top in that cargo, but Obi-Wan's hidden, but she could feel him now
Yep.
because he's back tapped into the Force.
And because she can sense his fear.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, that too. Because he's scared, but so Obi-Wan gives the the key to get into the ship that was
Yeah, the
given by
coordinates and
Haja.
stuff.
Yeah, and she ran, and she's like concerned about him because
She's like holding the door.
She cares about him
Yeah.
right now.
Obi-Wan says something like, "You go ahead, and then like if I'm not gonna make it, you leave."
This scene was my favorite scene of the second episode because of Obi-Wan Kenobi finding out. He's like, "Oh, you don't know."
His face. And yeah,
Because she
acting was
keeps
great.
reading his feelings.
Yes.
Like it's just his. This is spectacular acting by the both of them.
Yeah.
Moses Ingram won for like buying in and making you believe that she actually is like hearing
Figuring
his
this
thoughts.
out in the moment.
And then like Ewan's face from start to finish of like, oh crap, oh crap, oh
it goes
crap,
from fear to like
oh crap,
realization.
Anakin Skywalker's still alive and he's Darth Vader
Yeah.
and he's pissed.
Yep.
And then
Because Reva's like, I'm not going to kill you, or you're not going to die today. I need to take you to him.
exactly.
And then it's like,
Yeah.
who is him? And then she's like, oh, you don't know.
And then this great scene.
She's about to find him. She's like right on top
Yeah.
of him.
Oh, we have to. And then the Grand Inquisitor
Yep.
walks in.
He shows up and he's like, you're done. I told
Bitch,
you.
we done.
And
you
she's
fired.
like, but I got him right here.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'll handle this. And then Reva stabs him in the stomach.
In the gut, stomach. It is the stomach.
Which you can survive, apparently.
Well, spoiler alert, the Grand Inquisitor is alive in Rebels, which is 5
Right.
years after this. So,
Right.
and he's clearly in the Fallen Order game. So,
Yeah, so lightsabers really don't kill you unless
Survivor.
they cut your head off.
but look, this is the same thing as being shot in the gut.
I know, I hated
bull-
that too.
No. I'm talking like real life. The bullet can go through you and you
Oh,
and
okay.
you survive. Like
Okay,
that
That's fair.
that shit could happen. He's also a Sith user, so
yeah.
this is the same universe where Darth Maul was cut in half, fell millions of miles down below, survived. Somehow Palpatine returned,
Yeah,
and like countless others. So it's
Yeah.
just it's Grand Inquisitor
and
surviving.
everything that Hunter's been through in the Bad Batch, and
Yeah. I know you got a problem with that one. So finally, Obi-Wan gets into the cargo ship that takes off just barely. He gets in there, and then I love this because you hear his hearing getting worse and worse and worse, and it feels like you're sympathizing with him, like he's about to pass out because he's like it's going through his head. He's like, "Shit, Anakin's alive! Anakin's alive! Anakin's alive!"
Yeah.
And then he just whispers Anakin, and then the next scene cuts to back to
To
Tank
Anakin.
Vader,
Well,
his
Vader,
eyes
you're right.
open, pissed off.
Ugh.
It's like he's hunting and he's coming. And end scene, and we won't get a new one till Wednesday.
Oh man, thankfully it's not that far away. I
Correct.
love the Friday to Wednesday gaps.
Me too.
But the Wednesday to Wednesdays suck.
So it's going to be on Wednesday now?
Correct. They're going to release on Wednesdays from here on out.
All right.
Yeah,
I like it.
the Friday 2 episode thing was just special for this, and I think they wanted to cue it up with celebration. Yeah, because Brad got the premiere last night 2 hours before they dropped or something.
Yeah,
like
they're
that.
dropped at like 6 o'clock their time or something.
Yes,
Yeah.
something like that.
All right,
So-
you guys, I got to peace out.
All right, you you peace out. Thanks for joining. We will wrap it up over here. Thank you, Kyle.
Yes, sir. Good
All right,
hearing
thank
from
you
you.
for having me tonight. You guys have a good
I'm
one.
enjoying the Batman too, by the way.
All right.
Later, dude.
Bye.
So that's our first 2 episodes of Kenobi. There's so much to unpack there, but
Yeah,
that's about it.
that is about it. Now I have to ask you, is that the last one?
Oh, the last episode.
The last Obi-Wan Kenobi wrap-up show we're going to have?
Oh, if you would have told me, I would have queued this up
I
better.
thought you could figure it out. You're usually the smarter of the two.
Yeah, I know. I figured it out, but now I got to get to the thing.
Well, while you're looking up the thing, you
yeah.
can find Jedi Talk Podcast on Instagram, as well as Brad Ventures. He's not here today with us.
Say that again.
He's not with us here today. Like
No. Say the Instagram accounts again. Because
Brad Ventures,
Yes.
Jedi
and
Talk Podcast.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Brad's at Celebration right now. Follow that for all the cool Celebration updates. Follow Brad Ventures on YouTube as well. You can find me on Instagram at Evan T. Boucher and on YouTube at, what is it again? Happily Evan After. That's
Happily
it.
Evan.
Where can they find
After.
you, my man Tom?
Just find us on Jedi Talk Podcast. We got the Fourth Mother Box Talk or Fourth Mother Box subreddit and the Jedi Talk Podcast subreddit. We're everywhere. Just search Jedi Talk. Okay, search Jedi Talk. We're out there.
Canon Jedi Talk.
I'm Ginger_Muscle2 on Instagram, but don't follow me. Go follow Jedi Talk. We're more entertaining. But yeah, that's it. So that's
Nice.
it.
Nice. And this will not be the last episode as far as I know. I would like to ask Tom if there's going to be more, or if this is the last one.
Let's ask Master Yoda. Master
Oh,
Yoda,
better.
up in the Force sky. Is this the last Obi-Wan Kenobi wrap-up show for us?
No, there is another.
Thank you, Master Yoda. So he closes it out, and we will say thank you again for joining this world-famous Jedi Talk episode. I have been Tom Mokry with Evan Boucher. Brad and Kyle both joined us as well. You've been great. We've been Jedi Talk, and
We've been average.
we've been average. And may the Force be with you.
Always, and good journey.
Rise, Jedi Knight.